Here we are. I'm with Henry Rivers, the president of the National Brotherhood of Snowsports, formerly National Brotherhood of Skiing, I guess. Now
That's
it's
skiers. That's correct.
skiers.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And your national retreat this year is coming to Big Sky. Last year, you brought 3,000 members to Vail, spent $10 million dollars in a week. Are you expecting similar numbers this year in Big Sky?
Well, not similar. Last year was our 50th anniversary, and it's our summit. We anticipated larger numbers. This year, being at Big Sky, we don't anticipate that many, but we're definitely over the 700 mark, closer to 1,000.
Okay.
So we would anticipate a good $3 million is going to be dropped there in a week.
Nobody's going to complain about that. That's pretty good stuff. And that's still a nice turnout. You got plenty of rides. I can fit up to 7 in my SUV if you need extra help.
We appreciate that totally.
But you're in good shape. You have all your ducks in a row. Are you looking forward to coming to Big Sky?
The last time we were in Big Sky was 1983. So many of our members that are present members now probably have not been to Big Sky or didn't go to that summit.
Safe to say.
So we are definitely anticipating it. Our membership loves to ski all over. So this is an added treat to get Big Sky on off of their bucket list because Big Sky is probably on everybody's bucket list.
I would hope so. I think it's pretty great. Were you with the organization last time it came to Big Sky? How long have you been with the NBS?
Unfortunately, not. I started with the MBS back in 1996. So that was about 13 years prior to my joining the organization. If I had known about it back then, I would have definitely been there.
Well, a lot of things have changed since 1983, but one thing remains the same. It is still a painfully white mountain. You've basically called ski resorts frozen country clubs. Give me an idea of what your experiences have been like as an African American skier.
It's the same as every other African American skier. We're coming to a lily white environment. As I said many times, I look at the ski resorts as that weekend country club getaway for the affluent and for those white folks of privilege. That's the way it was established. That's the way it's been run. Families pass on their homes to the same white audience that is prevalent at these resorts. Um, we don't fear that. We actually embrace it because we love the outdoors as much as anyone else does. Um, what the inclusion of people of color into that sport and into this part of the outdoor environment, it's all good. It brings much more. I use the word diversity. I don't like using diversity so much, but it brings so many different aspects to the
Brings
outdoors.
a little style.
Um, Oh my goodness. Just look at our attire. Look at our jackets. Um, that's the quick identifying marker. But if you watch how we ski, I've been in PSIA for 20 plus years, and the motto of PSIA is that when you see a professional ski instructor, they all ski the same. Well, you know what? When you do look at PSIA examiners and instructors, they do ski the same. But every one of us skis differently,
Yes.
and then I love watching my folks and people of color ski. They just have such a flair and they show a different proficiency and a different level than you could ever imagine.
Tell me how it's different when you are skiing alone versus when you're skiing with, 3,000 of your friends, 800 of your friends. Does that change everything?
It doesn't change a thing, actually. What it does change, it changes the length of my smile. That's what it changes. When I'm skiing, I don't care if I'm skiing by myself or with my family. I'm pretty much skiing to always seek that perfect turn, which eludes me every turn. But when I'm skiing with members of the National Brotherhood of Snowsports, it is just such a happy space. You're transcended into an environment that is just so enjoyable, and you appreciate enjoying the outdoors with people that look like you and have the same passion that you have. But skiing, we're all and I think you as well, or riding. Don't get that misinterpreted, because
No, I'm a
I
skier.
love our snowboarders as well.
Totally.
But when you're outside enjoying this sport, there's nothing. You're by yourself almost. You're in your own space. You're in your own head, and you just love that feeling of control most of the time. Skiing around, but it's just an amazing feeling.
It is, and I hope you find that perfect turn on the mountain of Big Sky. Let's back up a little bit. Tell me, what is the National Brotherhood of Snowsports? What was the genesis of it?
Well, the National Brotherhood of Snowsports was created by our founders, Art Clay and Ben Finley, back in 1973. Now, that the thought back then was to get together, fellowship, brotherhood, just skiing together and having a great time and enjoying the outdoors together in a safe environment. That has evolved to a mission where we wanted to identify, develop, and support athletes of color that were going to win international and Olympic competitions representing the United States, and to increase winter participation in snow sports. So that's how it came about. Initially, it started with just 13 clubs, 13 Black clubs across the country. They all got together in Aspen and called it a gathering. That was the start of what 51 years later has become the National Brotherhood of Snowsports.
And how many clubs are there at this point?
At this time, we have over 58 clubs. And let me add, we support the summit. The summit is our annual fundraiser. We're 100% volunteer nonprofit organization. All the money that we make runs the organization, and it supports our Olympic Scholarship Fund. Our Olympic Scholarship Fund gives out scholarships to those athletes that we've identified and are supporting, so that they can get to an elite status, so that they can hopefully gain a berth on the U.S. ski and snowboard team.
That is the goal.
So that is the mission.
That is the
That
mission.
is the mission.
And
Okay.
how
And right
close are you
now,
right now?
well, this year we have 29 athletes in disciplines like mogul skiing, freestyle skiing, free ride skiing, snowboarding, alpine. So we've got those disciplines covered, and we have one new addition this year in Nordic. So Nordic is open, and Nordic is prime, because it's accessible in so many communities
Sure.
where you don't see a hill. So that is an area where we're going to be applying more pressure, trying to find and recruit and identify those athletes. This summit, though, what we do with the funds, it allows us to help these athletes with their race fees, with their training fees, with their coaching fees, their travel expenses. So it's a great organization to help these young athletes pursue their dreams.
That's awesome. I am inspired by what you guys are doing. I did read about the Jim Dandy Ski Club. That was the first black ski club in the United States, founded in 1958. Is the NBS an offshoot of that? Is it still a club in the NBS?
The Jim Dandies are they're iconic. They are not an offshoot. They were one of the first clubs established in the United States. They were one of the founding member clubs of the National Brotherhood of Snowsports. They're still very strong, very active. They support everything the organization stands for and does. They're, I have, they are. the epitome of what we would like all of our clubs to represent.
Oh, that's great. And are the clubs competitive with each other at these retreats?
I'm smiling and laughing. You say competitive. We've got people that have been skiing and have not missed a summit in 51 years. And I mean, 85 years old, still coming out to race against their buddy
Oh, you're kidding
from an
me.
Ohio club or a New York club. So the competitiveness has never died. I think it has been a driving force to keep a lot of our members coming year after year. First of all, they love to see their friends from other clubs, but they love to compete against their friends and have bragging rights for the next year on who was faster than who.
That's so great. Tell me, in these summits, it sounds like you've been to a lot of them. What has been your favorite mountain so far?
Huh. You know what? I don't have a favorite mountain. I love, let's see, if my kids were here, they would tell you Aspen Snowmass. Okay. They
Okay.
love Aspen. Um, I love Vail. I love Jackson Hole. I love Windham Mountain in New York City, in New York State. I really don't care if it's 500 vertical or 3,000 vertical. It doesn't matter as long as you can make a turn and enjoy the outdoors. Then it's my favorite mountain.
There's not a bad mountain, is what you're saying.
No, not at all.
Tell me, you've been skiing a long time. You started skiing in New York, the Catskills, right? That's where you got your start.
That's correct.
Over a lifetime of skiing, how has the culture changed from your perspective?
I've got to look at it. The only way I can look at it is from my point of view. Back when I started skiing, I was the only black kid on my mountain, just as I'm sure there was a black kid on the mountain outside of Chicago skiing, just as there was in Colorado. There was a black kid on the mountain skiing. There was nobody else. You were alone. But I think the thing that links us all together is that we developed a love for this sport. We developed a love for being outside, no matter. And back then in the 60s, the outer gear, your clothing, it wasn't quite up to par. It wasn't what we have today. So when it was 10 degrees out there and you were freezing, you were crying. You were like, oh my God, my hands are like ice cubes, but you didn't care because you loved that sport. It's just so invigorating. It's so thrilling. The adrenaline rush. It's amazing. It's what we all, I think, had in common. So you didn't care that there were eyes on you, that people were staring at you, saying, "Well, what is that black kid doing on this hill? Why is he even here?" When you get into the corral, you ski down, you're in the corral, you're the only black person in the corral.
Yeah.
But I think the mindset of the individuals that were out there learning how to ski and getting their abilities up and becoming more proficient as time went on, you really didn't care. You didn't care as long as they didn't physically um, attack you or come at you. You heard words, yeah, yeah, we heard comments, but how did we deflect those comments? I think most of us just skied better.
Uh,
We just improved our skill level so that if you wanted to call me something out of my name, it didn't matter because I was skiing and I was skiing well. And it's always great. And I'm not putting anybody down, but we always want to show that we ski well, that we're proficient at what we're doing. So when they were talking about you, and then they said, "Well, he does ski good, though," you know. So
you,
they could say whatever they wanted to say, and it would just roll off your back, and you say, "Hey, I don't care. As long as I wasn't physically accosted or anything, it was good."
there you go. Undeniably good at skiing. It doesn't hurt. Um,
Yeah.
how many clubs are there in the South? Because I grew up in Alabama, and my black friends in Alabama did not like to be cold. So, are
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
spread out all over the country? Are you
Oh, yeah.
mainly
Yeah,
concentrated in
we've
areas?
got clubs. We've got clubs below the Mason-Dixon line. You start out with a club in Washington in DC area, Black Ski. You keep going south. We have clubs in North Carolina. We've got clubs in Atlanta. We've got clubs in Florida. You name it, we've got them. We've got clubs. My club is the Jazzmatazz Ski Club out of New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
You don't ski in New Orleans. All right.
No.
Um,
You
but
water ski.
but we're all over. We're everywhere. We've got clubs in Texas, Alabama, Tennessee, you name it. We've got clubs there.
All right. Impressive. You're doing something right. Um, how close? Tell me about a couple of the athletes that you're excited about right now that you guys are supporting.
Well, right now, we've got a few athletes that really show great promise. Um, Up here in the Northeast, Bronson Culver, he's training at SMS, Stratton Mountain School. He's doing very well. He's an alpine skier. In Chicago, Detroit rather, we have Brian Rice, who is a snowboarder. He just competed in the Toyota Grand Prix out of Copper Mountain. We've got let's think. We've got Ava Keenan that's competing in Vail. She's a mogul skier. Keenan Supple, he's a free skier. He's out there in Vail as well. We've got quite a few kids that or I don't want to say kids, quite a few athletes that show great promise. I think they're very close to making or obtaining a berth on the U.S. ski and snowboard teams. So we're happy with their progress, and we're here supporting their progress all the time.
Those are some names to watch. Rising
Oh
stars.
yeah, for sure.
That's great. How can people outside the organization support these athletes?
Send the money.
It's pretty simple.
um, they can go to our website, www.nbs.org. They could always donate. Again, we're 100% volunteer nonprofit. So everything that we do, as far as budgeting and supplying scholarships, has to be generated through sponsorship and donations. So the general public, we welcome any contributions at all because they all go to our athletes, and it's a worthy cause. The athletes are exceptional individuals, and they're dedicated to what they're striving for, and we're here to help them get there.
That's great. Well, hopefully, some folks in the Big Sky and Bozeman area will give, and then they can see you guys in person when you come to visit. Uh, I know another goal that you have personally, Henry, is to see a CEO of a ski resort be African American at some point. Why stop there? Why not go for the whole mountain? Because if you guys took over a mountain, I would want to ski there.
Well, you know what? There's a gentleman by the name of Sean Mallier. He started Winter for Kids. Um, he took over a mountain right neck in New Jersey, and he's dedicated his career to promoting skiing among underrepresented youth. So he's doing a great job there. Um, we definitely always support what they're doing. But again, what you said is correct, and I want to be perfectly clear. In, the snow sports industry grabbed a hold of the whole DEI process back when George Floyd was murdered, and said, let's enough is enough. Let's see what we can do to help inclusion within the sport. So I think initially they were equating inclusion and diversity to mean lift ticket sales to black people and people of color. That is the farthest thing from the truth. Okay, let's not get delusional and think that that is inclusion. inclusion is just what you said before. Seeing the organizations, these snow sports industry organizations, have people of color and Black folks include integral within their infrastructure, within their management. Um, that's what we need to see. And if you look at it from a different perspective and say, okay, this corporation, I go to this corporation, I'm going there to ski, and I see a Black person is my valet, or is my parking attendant. I go into the resort itself, and my server at the restaurant is a person of Asian descent. My instructor is a person of Hispanic descent. If I see that that's inviting to me. That's telling me that they're trying to do something. If we're planning a summit and we're planning or another organization is planning an event, and the person that they have to deal with is a person of color, the event planner on that side, the sales, the VP of sales on the resort side is a person of color. That's inviting. That says, okay, I don't mind bringing my organization here and having my membership spend their dollars here, because I see that internally this organization means to become inclusive. That's slowly happening. I'm going to say it's at a glacial pace, but I do see things happening,
Yeah.
and we're here, and we have a platform, and we're going to utilize that platform to keep them informed as to their progress or their lack of. So this is what we need to see. That's inclusion. That's the way I interpret inclusion. Being a CEO is definitely on that list of inclusion. Owning a resort, definitely on a list of inclusion. So that's what we want to see, and that will trickle down. And you will sell tickets. You will sell more season passes. If I feel invited, I'm going to keep coming back. I mean,
Wow.
come on, think about it. You got your favorite restaurant. You go there, they serve what you like. You keep coming back. So, the snow sports industry should serve what we like,
Good.
and we'll keep coming back.
I totally support you and keep pushing on that door and it'll open. And you're doing good work. So thanks very much for doing what you're doing, Henry. It's great talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you in Big Sky.
We do as well. And remember, tell your audience, please, we need all the support we can get. Go to our website again, mbs.org, hit that donate button, help support our team athletes and a great cause.
There you go. We'll leave it there. Thanks, Henry.
Thank you.